Hello, my crafty friends. It's Michelle, the Southern Shell. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and hype this video if you can. It really does help support my channel. And today we have the WWW Wood Round or Wreath Wednesday with our host, Aria, with DIY with Aria, Lowly from Lowly D's Creations, and their guest host is Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling. Links to their channels will be in my description box below, along with the playlist of all the other creators joining us today. Don't forget to check them out, send them some love, and let them know that I sent you over their way. Now, here's a quick little supply list of the things you're going to need for this project. My antique wax and put a nice coat all around the front of this and down the sides of this. And then I will come in and just rub this all in all the way around this wood piece, giving a nice balance. There we go. So I had also covered my rings with some of that antique wax, and I've got the plaque sitting aside and drying. These rings are 1 3/4 inches, nope, almost 2 inches. So I mean they would be 2 inches on the outside and 1 1/4 on the inside diameter. So I have 3 of those, and then I have 42 biscuits. I have 14 biscuits per ring, and that'll give me 3 flowers. So I have my Waverly and Ocean, my Waverly and Merlot, and my Waverly and Plaster. And so what I'm going to do is I have 3 sets of 14, and I am going to paint each set in a different color. I may want to darken up the ocean just a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some into my little tray here. I'll get out my brush. Go all up the edge and then the top side on 7 of these. And what I'm going to do with the other 7 is what I need is I will have 7 biscuits down, and then I'm going to have the ring on top. And then I'm going to come in between, okay, that's 6. 6 might work too, we'll see. I'm going to come in between and place another one. So I'm going to use my miter shears and cut right across that line. Let me grab my shears, here they are. We're just going to come in right along that line, and we're going to trim off 1 piece of that and see if that's going to be long enough for what we need. So if we pull this out kind of where we wanted it to be and then set that one kind of on the inside there, yeah, I think that's perfect. So that's what I'm going to do with the other 7 of the blue ones, is come and cut it right along that line there and get those trimmed up, and then I'll get them all painted in the blue, the Merlot, and the Plaster. All right, y'all, I have got everything painted and stained. Here are the 3 rounds that I did. My wood round, I have some green jute, thick jute, and I have painted all of my wood biscuits in the white, the blue, and the red. And so I am going to start, and I think I had these lined up. I'm going to go ahead and start by laying out. I started with the blue, so those should be nice and dry. So I'm going to start out with just 1 layer of my blue, and they have to be all the whole pieces. I want all the whole pieces of my blue ones. And there we have all 7. And so what I want to do is line those up like so, and then that will sit right on top. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my Titebond wood glue here, and I'm going to first of all just add some wood glue on certain areas. And I'm going to come in with some hot glue in between those so that I have something that's going to help kind of grab onto those. And then we'll let this dry before I glue all of those down. That'll give that a moment to adhere to all those blue ones, all those red ones, all those blue ones. And I think what I'll do is this is a nice heavy little thing from my Cricut mini press, and I'm just going to hold that down. And while that's happening, I'm going to come in with the red ones. I'm going to put a red flower down here, doing the same thing with all of the whole pieces. And they're probably going to come up in between 5, 6, and 7. And then I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is lift and glue down onto my board while that other is drying, so that all I have to do now is just kind of lay these right on top. So I'll start with that one, and then I'll come in with the next one and get my Merlot ones all glued down to my board. I will come in and just clean up those edges. And that one, sit down and hold those. And then I will do the same thing with the white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that wood glue on the rings, and then come in with that hot glue in between. And these are going to go on top of the flowers, just like so. Alrighty, I'm going to hit that with my heat gun. And that's going to help any of the glue strings go away on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to work our way around now. So I'm going to start here on the white one, and I have my red petals, and they're going to go right in between on here. So I'm going to have one side is going to have the wood glue, one side will have the hot glue, and it will sit in between the white petals right on there. And I'm going to go around and do this with all of the red ones, and then I'll do the white and the blue as I go around these, and we'll be back. So for these pieces here, I had to draw out a little piece where I'm going to have to cut these off because they are not going to fit quite right. So I'm going to start with this one right here. It just needs that little tip cut off. So I'm just going to come in with those miter shears, and then I will get my glue and get that one face down. Wood glue on one side, hot glue on the other. Right on down and into place. This one is going to need the whole, actually that one fits okay. I don't know. Well, there you go. Let me erase that little bit of pencil mark there. That works just fine. I think I had it over further, but I think that'll be just fine. So wood glue, hot glue, and lay that last piece down. All right, so now I have our little white pieces, and I am debating whether to put them on the inside or lay them kind of along the outside, right in between those areas. So I'm going to play around with it and see what I like. I may just not put them on there at all, but let me play and see which part I like better, and then we will get back and you'll be able to see what I've done.
Screech, hold back. This is where I should have saw what I see now. Should have seen what I saw now? Anyway, you know what I mean. I should have taken my Dremel and curved those little pieces to fit around that wood ring. That would look so much better than what I actually did. Tell me what you guys think. Is it a big screech and, dang it anyway, girl? Or did it do okay? Let me know. Is that something you thought of right away? Or maybe did you think outside the box like I did?
The best way I thought that would work would be to come in with some of the thicker jute rope here. And this was just part of my stash. I probably got this from Walmart. But what I did is I'm going to take just a little bit of that hot glue towards the end, and I'm going to roll that just like so. There we go. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to lay some hot glue all around the edge of my ring. And now we can come in and wrap the jute rope all the way around that ring. Cut it at an angle and tuck it right on into that hot glue. And the best way that I found to attach these was I went ahead and just add a little hot glue in that. Make sure it's all tucked in there. I'll come back in with my heat gun and blow away all them spatter waves. But I'm going to come around now and add some wood glue in between each of those white petals. So that's the second ones we added. Just adding some in there. I will come around and clean up any excess that falls off. And what this is going to do, it's going to give me the wood glue to grab, while this hot glue on these edges, I can come in, set it down, and push it into that rope. And that's going to give more of a curved look instead of having it look like they were just so forcefully cut like they were. So hot glue on the edges. I need another glue stick in there. All right, a little hot glue on those edges. Sit it down and press it into that rope. We can come back in and clean up the hot glue with our heat gun. I will get these all done and I will get it cleaned up, and then we will be back to see. I'm going to add some of the green twine to make some little stems for our flowers after I get all these on and dried. Now I have this Patriotic paper, and I am going to come in on, cut that just a little bit closer there. I can come in and punch out that star. Now I will come in with my, let's see what we have here, walnut stain. That will work. And I'm just going to hit those edges on this paper. All 3 of these. Alrighty. And the easiest way to do this is I'm going to get some tweezers, grab it right on that edge, and we're going to lay hot glue right around the inside edge of this circle. And we're going to lay that down on our flower. And it will sit right in that ring perfectly. I'll get these other 2 done. I'm going to take my green twine now, and we're going to start up underneath that flower there. And we are just going to grab that end and poke it up underneath and lay that down. Clean up any of that excess that came out. And now I'm just going to create right off the edge we will trim that. And do the same under this one here. So right up underneath there, I'm just going to bring that in, lay it into that hot glue. This will come down right off that edge. And that will be trimmed off. And one more right up underneath here. I went through my scraps and I have this piece of jute lace here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a bow. And what I'm going to do, I'm just measuring it off down there, and I'm just going to come up and create just a simple bow, like so. And then I have the word cherish, and I have some stars, some star garland here. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut that off right about there. Okay, bring in our board. I'm going to take my stars here, and there's my center, and I'm going to go ahead and just, I'm going to lay some hot glue down, and I'm going to lay that all over the top of that, and then I'm going to lay my bow right on top of that. Let that get a good sit on there. I am going to just add some hot glue on the back of, let's do the back of the, well, back of the R might not work. because it goes right in between. All right, so it's kind of in between the E and the R and on the back of the C. So I'm going to do those areas there. And then down along there. I stuck my finger right in the other hot glue. All right, and I'm just going to come in and we are going to lay those down. That hot glue is going to grab. This one's doing well. I'm going to come in with a pencil and I am going to just coil up my star wire here. And then I'm going to do the same thing, go in the opposite direction. All right, there's my rusty stars. I'll do the same thing on this side. Just going to coil. And then coil. I'm going to take a dab of hot glue and lay it right there. And I just want that sharp tip just to pop right under there. And I will do the same thing right under here with this side. I'll lift those wires just a bit, making sure that bow can pop on out there. I think what I'm going to do is make another small little one to lay right on the top out of this thinner jute. Okay. And then right in that center. There we have it. I think this turned out so cute. I really do. Oh, I just love it. I think it turned out adorable. Let me know what you guys think. I think it turned out super sweet. I love the colors. I love the rusticness. Let's hit and get some of these glue strings going. All right. Guys, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, I hope you'll consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to check out the hosts and the playlist in the description box below. As always, stay safe. God bless. Bye for now.
So if you like what you're seeing, think about following me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. You can check out these QR codes here. If you'd like to support my channel, you can join my YouTube, or you can subscribe for free. You can also buy me a coffee, which helps support my channel as well.